I have vitiligo. So on the topic today, identity is something that I had to learn on my own how to re-accept my identity. And we'll talk about that as well too. So vitiligo is an autoimmune condition that affects the pigment in your skin. Some of you guys might know Winnie Harlow. She's like the most prominent figure right now who has vitiligo. And of course, we know Michael Jackson. He also had that condition as well, which is where you lose the melanin on your skin and your skin starts to turn white. I wasn't born with it. Nobody in my family has it. Immediate family right now, that is. And it's just something that happened. And it makes my skin look different, but I have learned how to love it over the years. And I've learned how to love myself even more because of it. So my mission today, and I would say every day, is to help you guys believe in yourself and to be proud of who you are, in spite of whatever perceived imperfections you might think you have or whatever the world might make you feel you have. Today, I want us to walk away believing in ourselves, even if it's a little bit more, and to be proud of who we are, no matter what we feel might be different about us. All right, so I told you guys a lot about me, and I know everybody else here kind of probably knows each other, but I just want to get to know a little bit more about you guys. In the interest of time, we might not be able to take everyone. So what we can do is we can put it in the chat and we'll read a couple. All right. If anybody wants to be brave and say it out loud, they can. But if you're more comfortable, feel free to put it in the chat. So one word, if you could describe yourself in one word right now, an honest word, what would it be? All right. So use an adjective to describe yourself right now, how you feel. It could be sleepy. It could be hungry. It could be, I don't know. How would you describe yourself right now in one word? And you can put it in the chat. If somebody wants to say it out loud, by all means, you could go ahead and unmute and say it. Patricia says sleepy.
My name is Janae. I myself as creative.
Janae, what you said? Sorry, you broke up.
I said I would describe myself as creative.
Creative. Okay, good. And I heard that you are an entrepreneur. So I'm assuming that you use your creative talents to create something that you now use for entrepreneurship. So that's great. Yvette said determined. Very good. That's awesome. Aisha, sleepy. Sleepy, tired. Cherise, creative as well. Clarice, exhausted. Oh my gosh. Listen, 2025, I think everybody's exhausted. Blessed. Angel says passionate, determined. Good. All right. So we have some good adjectives. So all those are excellent ways to describe yourself and honest ways. The reality is we wouldn't always feel good every single day. I think if you wake up every day feeling like in one way, then something is wrong because life is changing, things are happening, and we would not always feel the same way. But the mere fact that you are awake this morning is another chance at life. I see somebody say blessed and blessed and blessed. Amen. So each day is a new opportunity for us to change the way that we feel, because the reality is only we are in control of ourselves and we have the power to change in a positive way or a negative way how our day can go. Mary Lee says happy. And I am happy that you are happy, Mary Lee. Okay, why did it go to the end? Alrighty, let's go back. Okay. All right, so today, as I said, we are going to talk about our identity and what it means. I'm hoping that we can see how other people's opinions can affect how we feel and learn some ways that we could kind of mitigate that, to not make the opinions of other people have so much control on us. I also want us to learn some ways that we could stop negative thoughts about ourselves, because that's really important in today's world, especially with social media and that kind of thing. We want to try to, at least majority of time, have good things that we think about ourselves, and to practice how we speak to ourselves. That's really, really important. I want us to leave here feeling proud of who we are this morning. All right? So let's get into it. So our identity, and if you're taking notes, you could write this down. Our identity, or your identity, is who you are. Our identity is who we are. All right? Things like your name, your personality, your beliefs. I have a picture, they have a fingerprint. Your fingerprint, there's only one of this for each person. Your thumbprint is unique to you. That's part of your identity. Your beliefs, your family beliefs, things that your family would have taught you in the home, passed down culturally, religious beliefs in your home, and your experiences, your memories, things like that. That forms your identity. And those things are unique to you and all shape who you are, even from the time you were a baby to your age now. No two people would have the same identity, even twins. Even if you're a twin, your identity will still be different because you would have different life experiences, different fingerprints, and different things that would help to shape who they are. I know you guys probably know Sister, Tia and Tamara, the twins. So they look alike a lot, but their personalities are very different. Even in the show, for those of you who've seen the show growing up, well, that's probably more like a millennial show. But I know some of y'all still probably watch that. But they're different. Or let me bring it a little closer. Liv and Maddie, y'all know that show, right? Liv and Maddie. There's an next show with twins. I see some people, Aisha shaking her head. She didn't know sister, but you know that one. Again, twins in a series, very different. All right. So no two people, even though you're related, have the same identity. Some parts would come from your family and some would come from your choices. So your identity is who you are, yes, but as you grow older, it changes. So who you were when you were age 5, when you become age 10, will be really, really different. No two stages of your life would have you behaving the same way or acting the same way. All right. So it's important to give yourself grace when you are growing up, especially at this stage in your life currently. You might look at somebody else at your age and compare yourself to them without realizing that, okay, maybe, not maybe, but realizing that you all come from different backgrounds, you have different life experiences, and who you are would be different to them because of that. All right. So I want to show it as we go along, little by little. Sometimes I might play little videos to help bring what we're talking about together. So I want to share this video. Let me know if you're seeing the video or if you're still seeing the screen that I was sharing before. Angel, seeing the video? Yes, okay.
Did you know that you are incredible? One of a kind. And there is no one else on this planet who is exactly like you. Pretty awesome, huh? But hang on, what exactly is it that makes you, you? Is it your personality? Or the way you look? Perhaps it's the way you think, or what you believe. Maybe it's what you like to do, or simply where you come from. Well, the truth is, all of these things are what make you, you. This is called our identity. You see, our identity is like a little recipe. When you bake a cake, you use lots of different ingredients. The ingredients by themselves do not make the cake, but put them together and you have a masterpiece. So, just like a cake, our identity is made up of lots of different parts. And different parts will make different people, just as different ingredients will make different cakes. And difference is great. After all, the world would be a pretty boring place if we were all exactly the same. A big part of our identity is our values. What do we value? What do we think is important? What do we think is right and wrong? Sometimes this part of our identity is called our core values. Some parts of our identity might stay the same our whole life, Parts like our skin colour or where our family is from. Other parts, like our hobbies, how we like to dress, and even our thoughts, may change as we grow and learn more about ourselves and the world. We should all be proud of our identities because it is who we are. Hey, try this. Copy this picture.
All right. Did everyone hear that clearly? You know, with the whole internet thing, sometimes it pauses. It was good? Okay, because it's a little overcast here too. So when the rain falls, you know, the internet tends to move a little slow. Yeah, but let's hope it continues to work.
Yes, it sounded good.
All right, good. All right, so back to the identity screen, right? Okay, so like I said in the video, the things that you keep to you are your core values. Those are things that you keep close to your value system. So things like if your family is of a particular religion, you would tend to not necessarily stray away from that because those are the things that are close to you. But core values can change as well. As you grow older, you might decide to step away from certain things that your parents might have instilled in the home. You might choose a different path for your life, and that's okay. Remember, I said with each stage that you grow, your values will change and your identity might evolve. I don't like to say it will change because then you don't want to ever take away parts of who you are and go into completely somebody different, but it can evolve with things that you add on and experiences and help to make you a better person and grow as you grow into different stages of your life, right? So our social identity now are things that society gives us. We have our identity, which is who we are, but our social identity comes from what society will give us. And that is the one that we want to try and look out for. So labels that society put on us, our looks. I mentioned I have vitiligo, and there was a time when having vitiligo was not something that people really wanted to have. So you all remember I mentioned famous people that have vitiligo, Winnie Harlow, Michael Jackson, in the 90s and stuff, when he started to get vitiligo, everybody used to bully him and say Michael Jackson was bleaching, he was doing this, he was doing that. But people didn't know that he had a skin condition that was rare. And there was not much talk around it back then because there was no social media, not enough studies and stuff done on it. And a lot of people thought that he was doing something to change his skin color, not recognizing that he too was struggling with this condition and just trying to find ways to cope. So society was putting a label on him to look a particular way when he couldn't control it. And that happens for women, unfortunately, a lot when we think about things like our weight, even our height, the way that we dress, things like that. It comes from a lot of social pressures. So our social identity is important, yes, but we don't want to allow that to control our true identity. Background, status, who society wants you to be should not be your focus point for who you are. Ideally, yes, you want to be a good standing member of society, but you want to be you at the end of the day. All right. Peer pressure as well, which I know all of us go through. When we talk about peer pressure, sometimes we think it's only kids go through that or teenagers. But I want to tell you guys that adults go through peer pressure as well. We go through peer pressure in many different ways. And peer pressure often comes when others want to push us to act a certain way to fit in. And it is really something that requires a strong mental drive and a strong a level of self-love if it is you don't want to give in to peer pressure. I know for you guys in school, it might be as simple as you having an exercise to do, miss put something on the board, and your friend next to you starts talking. You know, sometimes in class, miss will say, focus on your work and no talking. And the person sitting next to you at your desk, they yapping away, and you know you have your exercise to complete. I see Terasa, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Miss Jofield. She was saying, yes, she knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes children in the class talking, and you know you have to do your work. And if you say, No, I want to focus on my work. They might make fun of you and make you feel like you're the person. Is that I'm making sense?
Yeah, miss. Actually,
Yeah.
that has happened and I get in trouble instead of the person.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's sometimes just the way that it works. So we want to try to not give in to peer pressure, not give in to that desire to fit in. It's hard sometimes, especially in school where there are cliques and the popular kids or the kids that might be the ones who are in little groups and you don't want to be left alone. But I can promise you that if you do not give in to peer pressure for the wrong things, that it will serve you well in the long run. There is also positive peer pressure. So there might be the one or two instances where there would be somebody who's doing the wrong thing. There would be a group trying to convince that person to do the right thing. So peer pressure is not only bad, but it's what you're being pressured into doing is where the problem will arise. All right. And I want you guys to remember as well that you are more than labels and your worth isn't decided by others. So, to use the example just now of being in the classroom, if someone wants to say that you are, you know, a nerd or whatever for only focusing on your work, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. And your worth isn't decided by their opinions of you in the classroom or in whatever group or social group we're talking about. Your worth is decided on your choices and the goals that you have set for your life. So if you know that you're working towards a goal and there is someone or there are groups of people that are pressuring you to do the wrong thing that will go against the goals that you have set for yourself, then you know that this is not the kind of peer pressure for me, and these are not people that I should be aligning myself with because it's going to impact the identity that I know that I have and who I'm trying to become in life. All right? Make sense? Anybody fall asleep yet? Okay, if you're up, still put a heart in the chat. If you could find the emoji.
Let's hope nobody's falling asleep. Right, so all our ladies seem to be awake. And for those
A
who
lot
still
of
have their
people
cameras
want to be accepted.
Okay, so let's watch this little video on peer pressure.
Making friends is a way to feel like you fit in. But if the friends you choose make unhealthy choices, you may feel pressure to make those same decisions. Negative peer pressure can motivate people to make unhealthy choices and engage in risky behaviors. A lot of people want to be accepted. Making friends is a way to feel like you fit in. But if the friends you choose make unhealthy choices, you may feel pressure to make those same decisions.
Okay, so I wanted to emphasize that. So making friends is a great thing. We all want to make friends in life, right? Okay, I'm seeing the hearts in the chat. Good. So we all want to make friends in life, correct? And we all want to be good friends as well, too. But it's important for us to remember that the friends that we choose can either help us to get to where we want to go, to help us to meet our goals, or can derail us from those goals. All right? You ever heard your parents saying or granny saying, friends will carry you, but they don't bring you back? Right. So we want to be mindful of the friends and the relationships that we choose at this stage in your lives because that will impact your identity and how you view yourself. All right. So in the beginning, I said that one of the things I want us to talk about today is how we can talk better to ourselves and about ourselves, right? It's important for us to overcome self-doubt and negative self-talk. And those two things go hand in hand. So our thoughts ideally impact a lot of the things that we do and how we feel about ourselves on a day-to-day basis, right? If you wake up in the morning and you tell yourself, I ain't feeling to do nothing today, now. I ain't feeling to do nothing today. I just want to stay home and just do nothing. chances are that you will stay home and do nothing because that's the first thing you woke up telling yourself, right? Now, in reality, there might be some days that you might be tired and really don't want to do anything, but the things that you tell yourself have a direct impact in what you will do. So I want you guys, not just today, but as we continue towards the rest of the discussion and as you leave here, to try to replace the negatives that you say to yourself with positives. All right, it's going to take a lot of effort. Even as an adult, it's something that I practice every single day. Over the past couple of years, I've had to practice it a lot, just with simple things as motivating myself to exercise or to eat healthier, or even complaining sometimes about work and just having to do things, saying, this is hard. I've had to replace it with this is hard. Replace this is hard with I get to do this. Or, you know what? I get to go to work this morning, or I have a job. Some people don't have a job. I am alive, whereas some people are not alive. I have good health, whereas some people don't have good health. I have my children with me. Some people don't have their kids. For you guys, you have those of you who have your parents with you. I have my parents with me. I have a pet. I have good friends, things like that. So I want to encourage you all to replace the word I can't, because the truth is we all have things that we can't do. All right. Maybe some of you can, but I don't know if anybody here could skydive. Anybody here could skydive? No? Anybody here could fly a plane? Okay, well that's maybe it's not a good example, but if it's something I can't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning without complaining. For those of you who have to get up really early for school, right? Let's say you wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I can't get up at 4 a.m. and not be cranky. You could replace that with I'm learning how to wake up in the morning and not be cranky. I'm learning how to do that. I can't eat broccoli. I can't eat salads by itself. I'm learning how to eat salads. I'm learning how to eat healthier. Or I can't do math. Math is so hard. Math is not my favorite subject. I'm learning how to do math. You see how it not only sounds better, but it encourages you to believe in yourself. And you will be surprised by saying, I'm learning how to be better at math. I'm learning how to be better at creative writing. I'm learning how to be a better friend. Maybe I can't stand that girl in the classroom. I can't stand her. I can't stand that boy. I'm learning how to tolerate that person. All right. So when you replace I can't with I'm learning how to, or even if you don't want to say learning, you could say I'm trying. I'm trying how to. It helps you to reframe your mind to be able to do that thing that might at this present moment seem tough to do or impossible. All right. And you want to focus on the progress that you make as things go along. So you might now be, for those of you who may have just written, well, we call it SCA here in Trinidad. In other CARICOM countries, I'm not sure what they call it. Let's say you're leaving primary school and you're going into secondary school. The work is going to be different. It's going to be harder. But as you go into that new environment, even if it's a new hobby that you picked up, you want to focus on the progress. The small steps that you make. Sometimes it's difficult for us to focus on the small steps because we're always focusing on seeing the big results, right? Okay, common entrance. Yes, we called it that here many years ago when I did it. So you want to focus on the progress, not the perfection. As adults, that is a big one for us too. But I know as kids, you all face that as well, where you might not even notice that you went from not even knowing how to speak to now being able to do some of those complicated math problems that they give you all to do when you do common entrance and SEA. So sometimes we don't give ourselves enough grace and we don't compliment ourselves enough for the things that we've accomplished in life because we always waiting to see some big result or we always waiting to see some big applause And society does that to us, and unfortunately, sometimes we do that even in our own homes, to our families and our loved ones, where we don't commend each other and say, you did a good job today. You just showed up. You did a good job. And it's something that we need to work on better as human beings, to encourage others more and to encourage ourselves too. All right, so we want to focus on progress, not perfection. We are not perfect people. We're just mere human beings trying to make it. And in very challenging times as now, it's even harder to attain perfection. All right, so progress and showing up sometimes is just enough, if that's all you could do. All right, and celebrate small wins. Like I said, sometimes we don't always do that, but we want to celebrate these small wins to build self-trust. So when you celebrate these small things that you do, it helps to build your self-trust and to build the trust in yourself. So let's say you said that, this week I'm not going to have any candy. When I go to school with my money, I'm going to save all my money this week. All my spending money this week, I'm going to save it. You celebrate that at the end of the week, because it helps you to build the trust in yourself that you can keep your word and do what you told yourself you were going to do. And you want to turn your mistakes into lessons, not labels. You don't want to label yourself by the mistakes that you make. We are all going to make mistakes in life. We are all going to do things that we didn't expect to happen. Maybe things might happen to us as well too that we didn't even cause. And we don't want that to become a label on our life. So one year, you probably didn't get a grade, maybe you had to stay down in a class or something, I don't know. But you want to turn those things into lessons. Again, like I said in the beginning, replacing I can't with I'm learning how to, I'm trying how to, I will be better at, I'm going to do. Replacing the negative with the positive can help us turn those lessons into things that help to make us better and not label us by those negative things or mistakes that would have happened in our lives. All right. So I want to challenge your inner critic. So challenge that voice on the inside that tends to sometimes be the loudest. And we want to turn one negative thought into a positive affirmation. All right. So like I said, the I can't into the I'm learning or I'm trying. So something you can say as well is I've never done it before, but it's an opportunity to learn something new. All right. So even with eating, because remember we're talking about our identity, right? And forming our identity to be the best version of ourselves as we grow in life. And the reality is that we can't grow if we don't try new things. All right. So that's one thing I want to encourage you guys with as well to walk away with is to try new things. So I tend to always tell my children, sometimes we go out and they always want to order chicken fingers and fries. I know that's a staple for kids, chicken fingers and fries. Even home, they always want nuggets, chicken fingers and fries or something like that. But I want to encourage you guys to try new things. You'll be surprised that those little things can help you to increase your palate, help you to ask new questions, become more curious around food, watch new things on TV, read a new book. School is closed, don't stay home all day just watching Roblox, playing Grow Garden and Dress to Impress and all those things. For those of you who play those games. All right, try something new, watch a documentary. It sounds boring, but all those things will help to shape your identity. New experiences, learning new things. It helps to increase your conversational skills so that when you go back to school or when you're talking to somebody that you may have now met, you can talk from a place of knowing something else. And then it makes you come across more interesting and you even become more interesting to yourself as well. You're like, wow, I actually know about this. And it makes you feel really good. All right. So another big one, especially in 2025, the age of social media, is our environment and how social media shapes that. All right. The first thing is, and I said this before, we want to be careful with the people that we place in our spaces that can pressure us, but this applies to social media as well too. So you want to choose your circle of social media people, for those of you that are on social media, I know some of you may not be, but even Roblox and Minecraft and Fortnite and all those games are a form of social media for your age because there are ways that you could connect with people. So you want to choose your circle wisely. Don't want to give out your phone number to everybody, people that can have access to your mental health in a negative way. You do not want to do that. If you know someone at school is not the kindest to you and they ask you for your phone number, if they're not kind to you in school, I would avoid giving them your phone number for them to, disturb your peace while you are at home. And for those of you that are on social media, let's say you're on Instagram, TikTok, things like that, hopefully with your parents' permission. You want to try to curate your feed and follow accounts that make you feel motivated, not inadequate. If you know that there are things about yourself that maybe you don't like right now or you're trying to work on, you don't want to constantly push those things on your feed that you're seeing them constantly. You want to curate your algorithm to follow things that make you feel motivated, things that make you feel good about yourself. That when you open your phone, hopefully not first thing in the morning, but when you open your phone or you open your iPad or your tablet or whatever, that you feel good about yourself. All right? Okay. I know some of you guys know Jojo Siwa. Yes? No? Nobody know Jojo Siwa? I'm using all these millennial references. So she has been getting so much backlash lately on social media for like changing her identity. People say that she's confused because one minute she's one way, next minute she's the next way. And I think she's a perfect example of a young woman who just allowed the noise of society and people's opinions to have her always tossing back and forth. That she's now kind of trying to figure out who she is. And unfortunately, she's doing that on social media in the public eye. All right. So we want to limit our time as well with toxic or negative people. So using the first example that I gave about giving your phone number to certain people online, that's important as well. So you want to stay away from the toxicity online. In your at your age, I think that's very crucial. We had a situation here in Trinidad, I believe it was last year, where a young man, he unalived himself because of bullying, where people from school were messaging him and telling him all kind of mean stuff on his phone and all of that. And eventually he couldn't take it anymore and he sadly committed suicide. And that's not something that should have even happened because one, people should be behaving better. But unfortunately, when that access is given, it's tough to control. All right. So I want to encourage you guys to not let it reach to a place where your peace is disturbed when you're home. All right. Limit, even at school, yes, you hopefully it should be controlled, but in your home, that should be a safe space. And you want to limit your time with toxic or negative people. So if you can't control that in your classroom or in your school environment, try to limit it in your private time. All right. Do not give anybody that disturbs your peace access to you or your phone or your social media. Because I could say come off social media completely, but the reality is in 2025, everybody has some form of social media. Even YouTube is considered social media. So it's tough to say, hey, just get off of it. All right. And the fourth for your environment on social media is you want to create an environment that reflects your goals. So this kind of ties into the second one with curating your feed, right? So if you know that you are an athlete, let's say you're a track and field athlete, or some of you might be dancers or gymnasts, or like my friend in Dominica, who's a creative, you want to look at those things online that would create that environment that would motivate you towards those goals. All right. So, for example, if you're a dancer, follow dancers that are at the stage that you want to be at. You're not going to be a dancer, but you're following only these silly accounts where people are pranking people. Yes, you can have a little fun here and there, but you also want to look at things that will create an environment that motivates you to reach your goals. Because at the end of the day, your identity is going to be shaped by your human interactions and by the things that you consume. Just like you our health is affected by the things that we consume, the types of food that we eat over time. Our identity is formed by the things that we also allow to enter our mind over time. we want to put good things into our mind as well, just as we put good things into our body. And in today's day and age where social media has become a really big part of who we are, we want to create online environments that reflect our goals. Make sense? Okay. Just a second. Let me go back. How y'all feeling? Good? Just a second.
Ladies, you all need to be interacting, talking, giving feedback. Come on.
All right.
Gosh, why every time I check my feed I feel so blah about myself? It's as if everyone's better than me or having more fun.
Yep, I get you, sis. That's why I quit social media.
You can do that?
Sure you can. My head was about to explode, so I deleted most of the apps for a while.
Wait, so what is it that you're doing now?
I'm watching a very interesting video about global warming and
Boring.
it's better than watching Mr. and Mrs. Perfect over there.
It's Brandy and David. Sweet, sweet David.
No wonder you feel bad about yourself. Social media is designed for you to feel that.
What do you mean?
I was hoping you'd ask. Come with me. I'll show you.
Where to?
Into your feed, where nothing is how it seems.
Brandy. Ugh. From all places, why do we have to land here? Look how perfect she is.
Well, duh. She's an influencer. She gets money to post these.
Someone actually paid her for that?
If you'll just widen your perspective, you'll see it's nothing but an ad for soda.
So it's all just a big hoax? I've been living in a lie.
Come on, turn off the crying filter. I mean, social media can be really great. It's full of fun things and interesting ideas. It's just that if you start comparing yourself to everything you see, your head connects. Ruth? Ruth? There you are.
Look how perfect they are together.
Of course they are.
So you agree with me?
They pick and choose only the moments that look perfect. They won't show when they are fighting or how they look in the morning. Even though it seems like that on social media, no one is perfect. Not even Brandy.
You really think so?
I know so.
Thanks for showing me what's really going on my phone. We need to celebrate this moment with a selfie.
Hey, no, I told you I'm out.
Come on.
Fine.
Ruth and Eve are so lucky to have each other. I wish I had someone like that.
Hey, did you say something, babe?
All right, so we saw how on one end, two friends, they're comparing themselves to the other people on social media. Thankfully, there was one friend who was guiding along and saying, listen, this is not real. And on the other hand, the other girl was like, she wished she had, a friendship like that. So that happens even in real life. Can anybody give a yes or no if they think that that's true or that's something that you've experienced on your own? Maybe where you might assume that somebody has everything all together. Maybe they come to school with the Stanley Cup and this and that, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes in people's lives. Yes? Aisha says it's true. Yeah, so this applies not just in social media, but in real life as well. But I wanted to use the example of social media because I know we tend to spend a lot of time online and the world is changing so much. There are a lot of things happening right now, technology-wise, where, look at us even right now in this class. 10 years ago, who would have thought that you could have done something like this online? You may have had to just show up in an actual classroom, but yet here we are. So the world is changing so much, and we don't know 5-10 years from now where things will be as it pertains to online interactions. But it's important for us to remember that while online tools, social media, things like that are excellent tools for us to network and things like that, it can also impact the way that our identity is shaped if we compare ourselves to others, because they might not be walking in the realistic truth of who they are, and you might be comparing yourself to them, and then you become a carbon copy of something that was not real, instead of focusing on who you really were and shaping your identity around the truth of who you were supposed to be designed to be. Any questions so far? Okay, Clarice says it's true, and I deleted TikTok and Instagram. You just deleted it, Clarice, so you deleted it before. You probably deleted it before. I'm just kidding. But sometimes I do that as well. Like earlier this year, I deleted all social media apps off my phone. I didn't delete the accounts. Somebody deleted? Go ahead.
Yes, lucky me. I don't have any of those apps except YouTube.
Good for you. Excellent. So I because of like work and networking and stuff, I had to leave the accounts up there, and I would just check messages from here, or there. But I deleted all the apps on my phone because I realized that it was just becoming a lot and just very heavy. That constant intake of information. We really weren't designed to be seeing all of that every day. It's only so much our brains can take. So I hope that you guys keep that in the back of your mind as you grow older in this digital age, that what we see online and other people's lives may not always be true, and we don't want to form our identities based on how we see others. Yes, we can use mentors, we can use examples, we can use inspiration, but we always want to try to focus on who we truly are and sort of create our own identity and our sense of self around our authenticity, in a sense, and not try to be like anybody else, to put it into simpler terms. Okay, so handling criticism and rejection. So as we talked about shaping our identity based on who we are, the reality is that when you be yourself, you tend to get a lot of criticism and sometimes a little bit of rejection. So if you've never heard that word rejection before, it is when people just reject you and your opinions, and they reject the person that you might be, and they try to tell you that you should be this way, or we won't accept you into this group. But as you grow older, you would have to realize that criticism can be a positive thing if you handle it the right way. All right. But unfortunately, not every opinion is worth our energy or our entertainment. And again, going back to being ourselves, when you are yourself, it comes sometimes against going the majority of the group, right? So the reality is that people tend to do what the majority is doing. And when you choose to go against that, you seem weird at first, you might seem awkward, strange, odd. But if you know that you are standing for something and you're standing against a group for whatever reason, because you're strong in your convictions, maybe it's really something that you believe in, or you just have a strong sense of self, no opinion is worth your energy, and you just accept that criticism and say thank you. So using the example of me with vitiligo, I didn't mention this in my about me, but I actually used to be a flight attendant, and I did that for about 12 years. So I used to live in Antigua when I flew for Liat. I lived there for 2 years, and then I moved on to Caribbean Airlines here in Trinidad. And it was when I was flying that I first started to get vitiligo. And I remember in the very, very early stages of that journey, I had people that would tell me, you could wear gloves. You could just wear gloves on board. So nobody would ask you anything. Or you could put makeup on your hands. These are real things that people said to me. You can put makeup on your hands. And, you know, people would say you could go to Cuba and you could do this treatment and all of that. And not that I wasn't looking at treatment options. I had tried in the very beginning to do things to control the vitiligo, to get back my pigment so that my hands wouldn't turn white and all of that. But it wasn't working for me. And that's just how it went. But I had to learn how to accept criticism and to kind of handle it because one, a lot of people didn't really know much about the vitiligo condition as I was learning about it. So, of course, I was going to the dermatologist. I was reading about it, watching videos about it. They were not. So to them, they probably thought that it was just as easy as me taking some tablet or putting on some cream and voila, I'll get my pigment back, right? I've had people over the years that would have told me, why don't you just do the treatment to make your skin completely white? And I had to learn that that is not coming from a place of them thinking that I'm ugly or anything. Maybe sometimes they're just criticizing me based on what they would do if they were in my situation. All right. So it's important as people criticize you as you grow older and go along in life that not not every criticism is bad, but also not everything is worth your energy. So you have to learn to discern which one is worth listening to and which one isn't. So, for example, if you get up and your hair is untidy and mom says you cannot go to school with your hair looking like that, she's criticizing you because she does not want you to go to school looking frazzled, right? So that's helpful feedback. But if you go to school and you pack something for lunch and maybe somebody is criticizing what you have, that's not worth your energy because this is a meal that your family provided for you and it's nourishing to your body and you just ignore what they say. All right. So we have to separate positive criticism from negative criticism and learn what is worth accepting as feedback and what is just learn well what is to just be ignored. All right. And you want to learn how to separate your worth from others' approval. So for me, having vitiligo, I had to learn that throughout the years, and it's something that I'm still learning with each passing day. I had to learn how to separate my worth from the approval of others because if I allow every negative comment about my vitiligo to make me feel bad or depressed, where would I be today? Now, I'm not going to lie, in the early stages, it was very difficult. I had people say to me, you don't find your skin does look like a cow. Um, I had people tell me that, as I said, that I should just do the treatment so that I can make my skin completely white. And eventually I ended up moving away from flying because it was just becoming a little too challenging. I remember I had somebody say they were not sure how passengers would react to my skin. And during the pandemic, I said, you know what, I'm going to step away from this a little bit. And I decided to just take a step back and focus on my family. And it has not been easy. It hasn't been easy. I've only had vitiligo about 9 years now. And it's not something that I expected to happen in my life. So I want to tell you guys too, as young women, as you get older, I mean, God forbid, something might happen in your life that might change something about your appearance. Um, and you have to develop a strong sense of self-worth to not make your exterior impact your mental health based on the approval of others. As a woman, you might give birth and your weight, your weight might change, your body structure might change, things like that. You don't want your worth to be determined on what people say about you. Because at the end, you'll be tossing to and fro if you live a life based on the approval of others. All right, especially when it comes to your appearance and things like that. You want to keep moving forward despite setbacks. If I had allowed having vitiligo to keep me down, I'd probably be depressed. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. I wouldn't have written books. I wouldn't have been, invited on platforms like these, online, in person, etc., to talk to young women and girls about the way that I moved forward despite my setback. So you have to find a way to move forward despite setbacks. Maybe you wanted to pass for a particular school and that didn't work out. That's all right. You might be surprised that You may have wanted that to happen, but God had a different plan. All right, so we want to keep moving forward despite things that might come into our way to stop us from reaching where we feel we want to reach when God has a completely different design. And sometimes criticism comes to derail us from our goals, or sometimes criticism comes to help us to reach our goals. But you will know based on what that advice or that critique is and the goals that you have set for your life. All right? Am I making sense? Anybody wants to say anything, ask anything, share anything? I'm sure anybody has ever experienced criticism before, and how did it make you feel? One or two people, if they can share while the video loading.
So somebody's hands up, you can go ahead and talk.
I see some people in the chat saying it hurts. They felt bad. Go ahead. Nobody? Angel, what about you? Have you ever experienced criticism? How did it make you feel?
Yes, it made me feel really sad at the moment. But growing up, I have learned a lot. Um, that it's most times it's not about you. It's basically what they are battling with. So you said something just now. Maybe it's how they would feel if they were in that position. It's not really about you. And it helps you, well, in the moment, it makes you feel sad and rejected in a way. But growing up, it helps you love who you are, basically.
Thanks, Angel, for sharing that. It's true. It does make you stronger. Shadika, you want to go ahead? I could unmute and go ahead.
I guess yes, it makes you feel bad, but I think at the same time as growing up, and getting older and bigger, you say things on your side for different, I should say, different looks on your side. Because I know for me, I have a little difficulty and I had it rough because persons looked down on me and person said this girl is not this and she's not done, she's not going to be this. But then in spite of it, I had to be holding my head up and saying, you know what, I can make they feel look shame, I can make they just look shame, and I can do what I gotta do even if I can't. I always believe in, I think it's Whitney Houston or somebody said, you have to lose to win or win to lose. I always believe in that. Even if I lose, I'm going to go again. So I don't think you should look at what poor people say in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Shadika. I love that.
I just want to say one thing. What I've learned is that you teach people how to love you by the way you love yourself.
Yeah.
The more you love yourself and you know yourself, it radiates to outside, and you bring the people towards you that is supposed to be around you, right? And even if you reach that point where you love yourself so much, and people still try to attack you, that's the moment when you realize it's not about you, it's something they are struggling with. And you now have to continue to love yourself so much that they see that, wow, she loves herself, and they would actually learn from that, and they learn how to love you, and hopefully they eventually learn how to love themselves and heal what is within themselves that caused them to lash out.
Yeah. 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 I'm seeing some comments. Thanks so much, Angel. I'm seeing some comments in the chat. Miss Jofield said, I'm guessing she's saying sometimes it makes you feel unhappy about how you look. Sapphire says, I've actually never been the type of person to take criticism personally, And this helped me to support my friends. Very good. I just wanted to say, honestly, I've always wanted vitiligo because I think it's very pretty. Miss Boudram says, that's wonderful. I wish I was like that. I'm trying to be, but it's a process. It's in progress. It's amazing that you can do that now. It is. And be gentle with yourself. You'll get there. You must always treat others as you want others to treat you. So let me tell you guys a little something before I share this video. So growing up, I used to be very, very shy, right? The other day I was joking with my dad about this. When I was growing up, they used to call me Frightened Friday because I was so shy, so quiet. Like never used to talk, always running and hiding. I don't know, I was just very, very shy. And now people see me doing these things and they're like, oh my gosh, that's Akenna, girl, you real talking and thing now. And you know what made me braver? Even when I was flying, I used to be shy, but my shyness helped me in the sense that it made me softer, whereas I wasn't always like I wouldn't be picking fights and stuff because I know I don't want confrontation. I think I had social anxiety before that was a thing. But getting vitiligo actually made me braver, funny enough. And I remember a friend telling me one time, he said he believes that God allowed this to happen to me because I was trying to hide too much. I, was always trying to be the person behind the scenes and this and that. But now having vitiligo is something that I just, I can't hide. So it's interesting that sometimes the things that we are the most criticized for or the things that we're afraid about is what God uses to propel us into our purpose and is the key in our identity to unlock our purpose, but not to over spiritualize it. But sometimes that's why, whatever forces, and for those of you that have a religious background, the enemy, the devil, whatever, would want to make not come to the forefront. So he uses tactics like criticism and things like that to break you in your childhood so that it does not come out to what it's supposed to be. So you have to really, really, really work hard to accept the good parts of the criticism, but not allow the negative things to derail you from your purpose and who you know that you truly are.
Hi, today I want to talk about dealing with criticism. Criticism can be tough to hear, but it's a normal part of life. People often give criticism to help us improve or grow. The important thing is how we respond to it. Here are some tips for handling criticism. Listen carefully. Try to listen to the criticism without getting defensive. Pay attention to what the person is saying and try to understand their perspective. Take a moment. Give yourself a moment to process the criticism before responding. This can help you stay calm and respond in a thoughtful way. Ask for clarification. If you're not sure what the person means, ask for clarification. This can help you better understand the criticism. Consider the source. Not all criticism is equal. Consider who is giving the criticism and whether they have your best interests at heart. Learn from it. Try to see the criticism as an opportunity to learn and grow. Use it to improve and do better next time. By handling criticism in a positive way, you can show others that you're confident and resilient. You can also use criticism to help you grow and become the best version of yourself. So be brave, and don't be afraid of criticism. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more social stories.
All right, so we want to focus on the positive aspects of the criticism and just pretty much in plain terms, learn to ignore the negatives. All right? Okay, so this is me. I wanted to share this picture because, as I said, when I first started getting, this was the first photo shoot that I did when I first started getting vitiligo. I just made up my mind that, you know what, I'm going to take some pictures and I'm going to share it and let people know that I love myself. I love who I am. I am happy about who I am, and I am not going to allow your beauty standards to make me feel that I am not beautiful. I often tell people as well that I think vitiligo gave me another set of eyes. It made me really focus on my internal beauty and learn to identify that in others as well. I have met so many people, beautiful people. I used to, back in my younger days, I used to do modeling and stuff like that. And I remember some of the most beautiful girls, some of the most beautiful women, having sometimes the most horrible attitudes, being so unkind and just being nasty and things like that. And I never wanted to be like that. And then when I started to get vitiligo, I always told myself that I'm not going to allow this thing to impact my identity. And having daughters really challenged me as well because when my younger daughter was a toddler, well, kindergarten, I should say, she was like, "Mommy, can you not pick me up from school? Because every time you come, these kids asking me, what is that on your mommy's skin? What is that on your mommy's skin?" She was just 5. She didn't know, but she loves me. She thought I am mommy and I'm beautiful, but she just didn't want to be bothered. And I felt like that in the early stages too. Like every time I go out, somebody have to ask me about this, tell me about that. I had to learn how to love the way that I look and not allow what people say to affect me. And I also wanted to show my daughters as well that this thing that happened to me is not going to change who I am. In fact, it's going to make me a better person. And Shadika would have, I think, I hope I said the name correctly, Shadika, right? She would have said that sometimes, it feels good to let people know that your criticism didn't bother me and I still made it, in the sense, paraphrasing what you said. Um, and I have had that experience in my life. As much as you don't want to gloat, you don't want to be like that because then you don't want to be like become like the people who would have criticized you. But once you keep your mind and your heart in the right place, good things always follow you. And for me, getting vitiligo was one of the most difficult things that I would have gone through. But I focused on just making my life better, on being a good person and putting good things out into the world, and it has always paid off for me. So, for as a young woman, I want to remind you that your identity has nothing really to do with your exterior look, but really about who you are on the inside. And beauty standards are placed by society. Remember, we talked about the social identity. Those are things that are placed there by society for them to make money most times. So when you look at ads and different campaigns and stuff, they would put the most beautiful people on there because they want to make you feel that if you buy their clothes, that you would look like that. But the reality is that real beauty is who we are on the inside. Because I am sure we all know somebody who looks the prettiest, and I'm talking about even at your age, who maybe, you know, again, I use the example of the Stanley Cups. I have nothing against Stanleys. My girls have too. But I know sometimes people use that as a statement these days of like wealth and upper classness and things like that. And you're walking around with everything that is trending right now, but you have a low self esteem. And that low self esteem sometimes projects itself in being mean and unkind. So we want to remember that beauty standards placed by society are not realistic for everyone. In fact, if we be honest, it's not realistic at all. All of us know celebrities, the Kardashians and these women and stuff, and they spend a lot of money on the way that they look. A lot of surgeries, a lot of time in the gym, sometimes a lot of drugs, and a lot of starving themselves, unrealistic things that they do to look the way that they look. That doesn't apply to us who living real lives and living here in the Caribbean. All right? We want to appreciate our bodies and our features and the imperfections that society makes us feel is imperfect, but it's just part of who we are and helps shape our identity. All right. Fashion and self-expression as well can help to boost your confidence. I love that there is this era, this whole K-pop era where they dressing how they want to dress and this and that. In the Caribbean, we have this way of criticizing people for dressing a particular way, probably because of the climate too. I mean, it's unrealistic to be wearing a full coat and boots to be going out here in the Caribbean. But if that's what you like and if that's what makes you feel comfortable, hey, by all means, if that helps to boost your confidence, go for it. Don't allow the beauty standards or the fashion standards that are placed by the world to change what you want to do. Hopefully, with your parents and loved ones' support, they would encourage you to do that. Because who knows, what if you were meant to be a stylist? And in one season, people might think this is so weird, the way that you dress. And in another season, people might be coming to you to help them dress them to look that way. All right, so we want to express ourselves in a unique way that is good for our body type and things like that. If you're not sure what type of clothing fits your body type or what might be good for you to help you feel good about yourself, you can go on Pinterest. So you can just go up on Pinterest and start looking at different clothing boards. So there's like preppy style, sporty style, things like that, and look for what fits your style that will make you feel good and unique to you. And then you start maybe sharing it with your family and you can shop for those type of clothing. Now, you're not going to wear Crocs everywhere you go. All right. But I'm just saying that sometimes all it takes is for you to find the style that suits you and your identity to help you to feel confident about the way that you look. All right. And you want to not let your appearance define your worth. Again, as women, there is a lot of pressure placed on us by society about the way that we look. That's something I know firsthand as somebody with vitiligo. It is not easy. But you want to not let your appearance define your worth, because if that happens, what if something about your appearance changes? That is going to then now change your worth? Mm-mm. You don't want to allow that. You want to have a strong sense of self-worth that even if something happens to you that impacts the way that you look, it does not change who you are and your identity. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard about Malala. So Malala Yousafzai was a young woman that I think she was around 16 or so when it happened. She got shot because she chose to go to school. Obviously, that impacted her face a little bit, but not in a major way, but it did. And she became a Nobel Peace Prize winner. She continues to do a lot of advocacy work around the world. She didn't let that define her worth or stop her from the work that she was doing all around the world. And again, Winnie Harlow, I used that example of her. I'm going to share a little video just now with you guys. She's Jamaican as well. A lot of people don't know that. And she is the first supermodel that has vitiligo. So coming from a time where Michael Jackson was criticized for having vitiligo and the way that he looked and all of that, he didn't talk much about his condition. But Winnie uses her platform to talk about what she has, and it has helped people all around the world. So that's something too as well for you guys. There might be something about your identity that you might feel is unique to you. It might be a little strange. It could be whatever. Sometimes talking about it and sharing it with your peers can help them. You might be surprised that they too might be feeling the way that you feel, and you don't know that you opening your mouth and sharing with them can help them to become more confident and to shape their identity as well. Because sometimes people stay quiet because they feel like they're alone without realizing that they just needed to hear that somebody was also going through what they're going through, and it helps them to become more confident and get the strength that they need to start walking in their own truth as well. All right. So like Shadika was saying, sometimes I remember, and I mentioned it just now, when I used to fly, they told me they were not sure how passengers would react to my skin. And I remember I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh. And eventually I left that career in that season. But years later, I do so much just around vitiligo to the point where I recently got an invitation to do this. Let me share it with you guys.
And we actually have some messages for you.
Winnie, I just want to say that I feel so grateful that we have someone like you who is paving the way for those that live with vitiligo. To have someone who is so beautiful, who is so bold, who is so inspiring, it means the world to me, and I know that it means so much to so many more.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for all you do. You've inspired me so much on my vitiligo journey. I know I've had a lot of self-confidence issues, but seeing somebody as beautiful and genuine as you've really helped me to learn to love myself.
You're not just inspiring me, but you're helping to inspire other little girls through me here in the Caribbean. So I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to encourage you to keep going and to just wish you all the best and a happy World Vitiligo Day.
Oh, Winnie.
The tears that came just now, you saw. Well, what is that?
I told you the last time, I always wish I had a big sister. You know, I've always been the big sister. I have two little sisters, I have a little brother. I have older brothers, but I don't have a big sister. And to see something like that is like, I've become that big sister that I always wanted. And so to see, you know, just me being true to me and standing in confidence in my own power and how that can highlight so many young girls and boys to do the exact same because they have a power as well. It just like, I don't know, it makes everything that I do worth it, you know?
And we actually have some messages for you.
Winnie, I just want to say.
All right. Yeah. So when I got the invitation to do that, first of all, I thought it was a scammer. I'm like, how these people, because they messaged me on Instagram. I'm like, y'all not gonna hack my account today. But it turned out to be for real. And I was one of 3 women that were selected from women all around the world that have vitiligo to send a message to Winnie Hollow to thank her for just being so confident, and because she really inspired me along my journey. There was some times when I was feeling like, gosh, you know, how I'm going to handle this thing. And worse yet, when I found out she was a Caribbean woman, well, then I became obsessed. So it's so important for us to talk about the things that might be, with vitiligo is a little different because it's visible, but it's important for us to even talk about the things that are invisible that might be challenging for us and might be tough parts of our identity. Because no one person is dealing with a struggle alone. I can tell you that there is somebody in Trinidad and Tobago that's dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with. There's somebody in Guyana that's dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with. You might be surprised there's somebody right in your same classroom, right in your community, maybe right in your home that's dealing with what you're dealing with. And when you talk about it, it opens the door for that conversation to be had. And it creates space for us to be able to help each other cope in a little easier way. Even right here, like on these meetings and things with what Miss Simone is doing like this, these spaces are opportunities for you as young women to talk about the things that you're going through. It really helps. It helps. All right. So as we're on the topic of talking about things that we might be dealing with, I'm going to hand you guys over to my dear friend Angel, and we're going to do a little reflection exercise. So I believe this is something you can take away and do in your journal, but we have a couple minutes still, like a 15 minutes maybe. I'm not sure if you all want to talk about it here, if you all have any questions for me, any comments for me. I see some things in the chat, so let me read it before Angel takes over. Aisha says, you must always treat others as you want others to treat you. I think I read that one. Oh, Angel said, this is beautiful. You look gorgeous. Thank you. You look stunning. She does. You really do look like a model. Okay. All right. Great. Thanks, girls. So, Angel, you want to take over?
So,
Or do you want to continue and then we can come back to this?
Yeah, continue and we can come back, yeah.
Okay, all right. It's not much. So I just had some tips on how to build a positive self-image. So as I said, in a nutshell, in a way just now, about focusing on progress and not perfection, I also want you guys to really set healthy personal boundaries. So I had to learn to do that with vitiligo, particularly because there were people that I realized that vitiligo just made them uncomfortable. For example, I have one relative, every time I see him, he would always tell me about what bush I should drink. He asks people about what I should take to help me. And remember, I said sometimes it's just about what people would do if they were in your situation. I have come to a place of acceptance, but maybe if he had it, he probably would not have. And that's okay. So I had to set healthy personal boundaries where I just really don't go around him as much because it's going to trigger me. I'm going to be upset. And I had to set that boundary. So if you know there is someone or something that triggers a reaction in you that can impact your self esteem, you want to set a boundary around that. You want to replace comparison with inspiration. So instead of looking at someone and comparing yourself to them, maybe what you are comparing yourself to them with is something you want to see in yourself. So use it as inspiration. Use it to help you become better. And you want to celebrate small wins as well. I know we spoke about that just now. All right, so some daily confidence boosters. So we want to use positive affirmations. I want to emphasize that. Power poses and confident body language, sitting upright, using proper posture. I also do a lot of etiquette training, and I talk about this a lot when in my classes. How you sit, how you walk, how you stand, exercise, go outside. The reality is there's low self-esteem, depression, those things, it hates movement. So when you're sitting down in your room whole day, just scrolling on your phone, you will feel sad. You will feel depressed. Get up, go outside, put on some music, put on a song, move around. Miss Jofield, go ahead. Get your hand up.
Yes, miss. So, the way that you said avoid people that make you upset. But what if, like in my situation, I keep on going to school every day, and this one girl keeps on bothering me about how short my hair is. So I cannot avoid her because I am in school and she's always coming to school to annoy me. So how would I avoid her in that case?
Well, I will say that if she's telling you, again, going back to the criticism being about something that insecure in themselves, uh, you know that you are beautiful. You know that you love your hair. And once you keep telling yourself, listen, I am beautiful. I love my hair. I love who I am. I'm sorry that you don't love my hair, but I cannot do anything about that. You mightn't be able to tell her that, but you can start telling yourself that until you build the courage to say it to her in a kind and respectful way. There's nothing wrong I think there's nothing wrong in saying something like that to somebody. I'm sorry that you don't like my hair, but I love my hair and I've learned to accept who I am. Who knows? Maybe she thinks if she had short hair, she might not see herself as beautiful. And that's okay. People are allowed to feel how they want to feel about a particular situation because that is on them. So the reality is that it's not just about the classroom, because what if you ask, can I move to another class or another school? Chances are there might be somebody in the school that have a problem with something else. So you can't move everywhere to get away from the person. You want to focus on building your self talk and your self-worth to a place where what people say no longer disturbs you. Yes, you want to, like I use the example of the relative, staying away from them. But I also spoke about the fact that it's something that I live with daily in my vitiligo, that I can't change. Like the other day, I was putting gas and a man came up to me. He was like, you must try drinking Sive. He saw somewhere where you can drink that. Sive is like seasoning, like green onions, where you can drink that and it will help. So I'm like, can I just put my gas in peace? Like, you leave your car to come and tell me this. That sounds like a you problem. Right? So to that young lady, again, like you're not gonna tell her this because you don't want conflict, but whenever she tells you that, maybe you need to just remind yourself, like, sis, that hair thing sounds like a you problem. Because I love myself, I love my hair, I love who I am, and that's it. Make sense?
Yes, miss. And thanks for helping me. No problem.
You're welcome. And I'm sure you have friends that don't tell you that. So surround yourself with them. Surround yourself with the uplifting people and keep your circle filled with people that tell you positive things. And day by day, as you go along, you'll realize the negative things will be like, it almost sometimes become amusing, where I have developed over time, and I think it's something that just came where now I feel sorry sometimes and a little bit of pity for people that criticize my vitiligo because I'm like, you have no idea. I think I'm such an amazing person. I'm such a good friend. I'm such a good mom. I work so hard. I have overcome so much challenges that you are allowing this little thing to make you see that about me when I look in the mirror and I don't even see vitiligo. Like I just see an overcomer. So I want to encourage you as well too. Like, yeah, as women, we all have things like some of us we look in the mirror, we want to lose some pounds, we have little rules, we want to, we want to change about ourselves. But when you think about the things that you have already overcome, those physical things that people make an issue, it's like it just becomes sometimes pitiful. It's like we literally just went through a whole global pandemic and you're thinking about my hair. Girl, bye. All right. And doing one brave thing or challenge yourself. I had doing one brave and I changed that to doing brave things. Doing brave things, challenging yourself in a safe way, of course. So you're not going to jump off a cliff because you're afraid of heights. All right. But maybe you don't like spiders and there was a petting zoo and there were some spiders. Touch the spider, touch the snake. Doing brave things. Reframe your mind to tell yourself that you can do hard things. All right, and I will come back to that letter at the end. So let's go back real quick to the exercise because time is a-going. And I'll let Angel read it out for you guys.
Hi, Jams. So reflection exercise. I don't know if you can do this more like an interactive session. Get you all talking a bit. You all could unmute your mics. Let me hear from you all. And you all could also do this after the session as well. Go back over it, what we would have discussed from it, right? So I'll read out all and then we will go one by one. Reflection exercise. What's one physical feature I love about myself? 2, what's one thing my body allows me to do that I am grateful for? 3, how can I compliment myself more often? Right, so y'all think about that and let's get to question 1. I want to unmute mics. Let me hear you all. Anyone? What's one physical feature I love about myself?
Hi, Miss.
Hi, Aisha.
So, one physical feature that I love about myself is my hair because my hair, like, it's curly and it's wavy and it's straight at the same time. So, I really love my hair.
Nice, nice. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Shadika? Oh? Well, I can share, and then somebody else can share. One physical feature I love about myself is my smile. Let's read the chat. But Miss says you can take a screenshot or write down the question so that you will have it for later, right? And you can write that to yourself. And anytime you feel sad or you feel like, somebody tells you something that you don't like, you can look at it and tell yourself, I love this about myself, right? And nothing can change that, right? Somebody says my shape. Nice, Ayana. Anyone else? There must be one thing. Shadika, you have great skin complexion. You are pretty. You're beautiful. Let me know one thing you love about yourself.
Which one is Shadiko? Trinidad or Guyana?
Say that again. I didn't hear.
Which one? Trinidad or Guyana?
Oh, from Guyana. Shadika, Dublin.
Okay, so the one thing I like about myself is that what I should say, my shape.
Nice. And you have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Khadija, if I said it right. Um, she says my hair, nice. And Daishel, I hope I'm sorry guys if I'm pronouncing it wrong. She loves her hair, it's long and silky, nice. Brianna
Miss,
says, I like my nose. It reminds me of a smooth. Oh, that is so cute. Someone was going to say something.
Miss, the name is pronounced Deshel.
Daishel. Okay, nice. Thank you for correcting me.
You're welcome.
Katisha says my shape. And Janae says, I like my entire body. Great. I love that. Let's go to number 2. What's one thing my body allows me to do that I'm grateful for? Anyone? Breathing, I will say. I thank God that my body allows me to breathe this breath that God gives me every day. Anyone else?
Miss, I'm thankful for my body to make me run because I'm a very good athlete.
That's super cool. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Janae says it allows me to use my 5 senses. Yes, that is true. Aisha says my body can move, lots of people can't move. That is true. Nice. Anyone else before we move on?
My body allows me, and I'm thankful for it, to heal as fast as I need to because I was in
Thank
an
you.
accident and I healed because I broke my hip. And I healed and I'm
Oh,
now walking.
Tarasai, is it? That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, Tarzan.
Tarasai. That is so amazing to hear. I'm so grateful that your body allowed you to heal from that. That is amazing. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Katisha said her body allows her to sing. Me too. I love that. I love that.
I'm sure you sing.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we'll move on to number 3. How can I compliment myself more often? Hmm. I like to hear from you all. How can I compliment myself more often? How can you compliment yourself more often? Yes, Shadika Dublin, you can go ahead from Guyana.
As for me, I like looking myself in the mirror.
Nice.
And I'm
And I
proud
want
of
you to
how far I
continue doing
reach.
that. Say that again?
Yes, I will. And how far I reach.
Okay, okay. And you're going to say something else?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's lovely. I love that. Continue doing that. Look, Ayesha says every morning go in front of the mirror and say something nice. Yes, yes, indeed. What's another thing you can do is get those little sticky notes and you can stick it up on your wall. Or what I do, if you see in the back of me, I have like little gold stickers and I have like flowers and stuff that I decorate my room with. I stick it up and I put something that I love about myself. So you can put, I love my hair, I am beautiful, affirmations, just stick it around your room. And when you get up and you don't need to read it all, but when you turn to it, you read it and you remind yourself, I love this about myself. I have this attribute. Onika says I rewatch videos of myself continuously. That's nice. So Onika, you videotape yourself like singing, like laughing with friends and stuff for you to watch it over?
Oh,
Ah?
no.
Okay, okay. So what do you do?
I don't know, like just take videos of myself smiling. I guess so.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. I love that. Um, Deshel, I have it correct, right? Just remind me.
Yes.
Nice. So Desha says, by waking up in the morning and saying, I am smart, I am beautiful, I am an amazing person. I love that. Write that down on a sticky note and stick it up. So as you grow, as you get older, you always see it. If it's getting old, replace it with a new one. So you can always remember it 3 years. I love that. And Janae says, I compliment myself by always watching myself in the mirror, whether in the car mirror, reflection, fridge reflection, or anything that reflects me, and say, damn, you're pretty. I love that. I really love that. Okay, girls. Anyone else before we close off? I hand you back to Miss?
I compliment myself by getting up. I say a prayer and I thank God for the beautiful way He has made me, and I tell myself that I'm beautiful while I'm praying.
Man, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Miss. Miss Akenna.
Yeah. All right, Angel. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So we have one more thing that we want to share with you guys. It's a takeaway exercise. So you can definitely screenshot this, or I can always send the slides after, or I can screenshot it and send it after for you guys. But it's pretty much what we talked about just now, and putting that in the form of a letter to yourself that you could stick. It doesn't have to be a long letter. It could fit on a post-it, and you stick it on your mirror, you stick it on your door, stick it by your bed. You could put it on your phone.
Hey, Miss, would you be able to go back to the questions? Let me get it so I can send it in the group.
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
You can put it on your phone, wherever. So it's a self-love letter, and it's pretty much exactly that. It's a letter that you would write to yourself about all the things that you love about yourself. Because as I said in the beginning, not every day you're going to wake up feeling good. Not every day you're going to wake up feeling good about yourself. And there are some days that you wake up just feeling a little blah. And not feeling to move, especially as young women. When you start, for those of you who already do, have your menstrual cycle, when you're on your menstrual cycle, for those of you who might, when you start seeing that emotions all over the place, haywire, not every day we feel good. All right, so I'll show you guys the template soon as Angel is finished there. It's okay, Angel, you have it?
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, I am finished. Thank you.
No problems. So here it is. My self-love letter. So you want to write to yourself with kindness and with pride. All right. If it's on a day that you're not feeling too good, you don't want to write it then. You want to try to not use ChatGPT. Use you. All right, your voice. Write it to yourself. You can probably write it in your journal, or as I said, if you want to put it on a post-it and stick it somewhere that you'll see it. If you want to post it in your notes and take a screenshot and put it as the background in your iPad or your phone, where you see it every day to remind yourself that this is who you are. You want to highlight your strengths, your resilience, and your growth, and you want to keep the letter for the days that you feel low, or you want to keep it every day if you feel like you need to do it every day. And it could be something like, Dear Angel. So if it's you, you put your name. Today and every day I will treat myself as a treasured friend. Of course, this is just a template, but you can change, right? Each morning I will, and you put a positive thought. So you can say, each morning I will pray to start my day. I'll remember that I'm good at whatever you're good at. If it's singing or organizing or planning, and that my friends say that and you write something that your friends might say about you. So your friends might say that you're a kind person or that you're a good person. Because I want to take care of myself physically, I plan to, or you could say I will. Change plan to I will take a walk today. I will exercise today. I will dance today. I'll move my body today. That, along with eating nutritious, tasty food like salads, broccoli, whatever, I will help me feel good in my skin. I will take care of my skin. But because I know that there's more to life than eating well and exercises, I'll also make room for journaling, or I'll make room for reading, or I'll make room for watching a movie that I like, or for talking on the phone with my friends, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. When I realize it's important to be kind to myself, I realize it's important to be kind to myself even when things aren't going well. So the next time I make a mistake, I will, and then you put what you encourage and taught with, I will forgive myself. When I face a setback, I won't self destruct, or I won't punish myself or blame myself. I will give myself grace, or I will try again, which will help me to accept it, change it if I can, and move on. And that will help me live the life that I want to deserve. Again, this is just a template that I saw and I found it was really nice. But the letter is pretty much replacing, as we said in the beginning, the negative things with the positive things. And by time, those things help you to form a better identity and a better frame of who you are and a better sense of self. Um, and you slowly learn to accept the mistakes that you may have made or the flaws that you have, because you start to see them as beautiful. All right, remember that the session today was the key thing today is identity and self-acceptance. We don't want to change who we are. We want to accept who we are. But as human beings, there will always be things that we could work on, that we could improve on, and that we can make better about ourselves. So it's important for us to tell ourselves what we want to be better in our lives, because we are the only people who could do that. Yes, we can talk to people, we could get advice from mentors and friends and teachers and parents, but it will become a time when only you can decide that, hey, I'm going to come out of this rut, I'm going to change this mindset, and I'm going to be more intentional with what I tell myself so that I can feel better about myself and I can be the best version of myself that I want to be. All right. And also, in closing, I want to encourage you guys that your story is still being written. All right. And by that, I mean that you are only young girls, teenagers. You have so much life ahead of you still. Give yourself grace in this season. Every challenge that you're going through right now, I promise you, it is shaping you. It's shaping your strengths. It's shaping your character. It's shaping your identity. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. There are adults my age who wouldn't even have it figured out. We just go in day by day. All right. Surround yourself with people and influences that help you shine. So doing things like this, showing up on a Saturday is a good start. You might be surprised that you might not have one of my best friends. I met her a couple of years ago in an online Bible study, and we eventually started visiting each other. She lives in the US, I live here. We visit each other. Our children are good friends now. Sometimes your closest people, the people that are for you, is not even in the same country as you. So surround yourself with people and influences that would help you shine, and you have to be willing to open up yourself to be able to do that. All right. Thankfully, now we have the gift of the internet where we could meet people all around the world in a safe way, of course. So you want to surround yourself with people that matches the goals that you have for your life, and nothing is wrong with if maybe they're not in your immediate circle, and you have to look outside for that. All right. Believe in your worth even when others don't see it. That's what I had to do when I first started getting vitiligo. It was hard, but I had to believe that I was not going to let this thing break me and make me roll up in a corner and cry and be like, oh my gosh, I have vitiligo. What's going to happen to me? No, Even when others didn't see how I could push through it, I pushed through, and I still push through every day. Every single day that I get up, I have to find the strength to do it because it's still changing, it's still spreading. I don't know in the next couple of years how it would look, how it will be. So I have to, it's a daily thing for me. And it might be like that for you with something else. It doesn't have to be an exterior thing, it could be something that people can't see, but you have to believe in your worth and you have to teach people how to see you as worthy by the way that you carry yourself. All right. So in closing, I want to remind you guys and enforce to you guys that you are more than enough and you are exactly enough as you are. You don't need to change to add on more. You are enough as you are and never forget your worth. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation today and the talks and stuff that we had. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Now is your time, and I will hand you guys over to SImone, Miss Claxton, or Angel.
Yes, I will play the closing song.
In a short while, Angel, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Akenna Kublal, for your wonderful, wonderful presentation. And as you said to the ladies, surround themselves with experiences and people that will make them shine. The name of the program is Shine, ladies, and you want to shine. So surround yourself with people and experiences that will make you shine. Thank you so much. I mean, this program is just getting better and better each week. I don't know if I am the only one experiencing it, but every week it's just getting better and better. Everything just falling into each other. It's a bit of an expansion from last week, you know, talking about people's impact on you, what they say and how they think, you know, and how that affects you and how to cope with it, you know. I'm really glad that you touched on that because we all struggle with that, adults as well as teens. I mean, you could just imagine, you know. So thank you so much for, you know, enforcing our self-identity and what it's about and who we are. And it's more than just the external, but it's comprised of our internal characteristics and values and the experiences and the memories that we carry with us. And we're evolving every day, every single day. It's a challenge. Wake up, embrace the challenge, and keep going. Thanks very much, Angel, for your support. And as we close off, I just want to invite Deborah to do our mental health, you know, check-in. But before that, I just want to announce our winner for today's Bouncy Mania ticket, and that person is Miss Teresa Jofield. Yay! Miss Jofield, you interested in going to the Bouncy Mania?
Yes, I am very happy for winning the prize. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Lovely. Thank you very much for being so vocal and for your participation today. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice. I'm going to hand over to Deborah and Dominica. She's going to do our mental health check-in with you ladies just to, you know, wrap us up.
But anyway, I'm so happy to be here and great to see so many new faces and old faces. Hello, Shanika, and all of those who switch on the video. I give you a high five. We're empowering ourselves. We're shining through those cameras. Yes, yes, yes. Let me see all those cameras. Let me see all those shining faces. Ayana, Brianna, Shanika. Woo! My God, you guys are awesome. You're not afraid of showing your face. And we have beautiful Angel. Love your natural hair. So how are we feeling today? How are we feeling today, guys? It's a beautiful sunny day in Nature Isle. I'm in Dominica. How is it in your end?
Good. Sunny.
It's good. Oh, wow. Lots of sun. So what are we taking away today? What one thing or maybe two things are you taking away with you that you're going to use, put in your toolbox? What are you taking away today?
For me, I learned no matter what person says about you, I think you should learn to ignore. Not to
Yep.
answer, just ignore.
Yep.
That's what I learned today.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay. Who else want to have a go? Cherise. Hi, Cherise. You want to have a go, baby? Come on.
Hello.
Raise your hand.
Hi.
Hello. What are you taking away today? What one thing you're going to put into practice and get stronger so that you can shine even brighter?
I will
Okay,
start writing down like stuff on sticky notes to encourage myself.
Nice, nice. And what you going to write down on the sticky notes?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, it will come to you, but you set a good intention. Write it down on the sticky note to remind you on days when, you're feeling a little cloudy, you're feeling a little, and you're going to look at your sticky note and say, yes, I am beautiful. Look at that. Look at me. I have the best eyelashes in the world. I love your eyelashes, by the way. They're so pretty.
Thank you.
eyebrow and lashes. Okay, so who we have next? Who wants to have a go? Come on, ladies. This is your moment to shine. Remember, we're a girl empowerment group, and the more you speak, the more confident you get, and yay!
Today what I took away was to love yourself no matter how you look, and know that you look beautiful inside out, no matter what nobody say.
Exactly. Self-love. And that is the key. The most important lesson you can learn is how to know yourself and how to love yourself. That's the most important thing to study is yourself and know about self-love. Excellent. Good job. Okay, who next? Brianna, unmute your mic, baby. Your mic is muted. You're saying something? Yeah. Yeah, Bri, go ahead.
So I will also start a journal. I used to journal before, but then I stopped for a certain period of time. So I will start back to journal.
Nice. Get back on track and doing what it is that serve you. Wonderful. Who's next? Shanika. Come on, baby. Shanika, here go. Unmute and let's go.
Yes.
Shanika, you cannot find the unmute button, baby?
Me, Miss Deborah.
No, not you. You have Shanika in Trinidad.
Shanika.
Yeah.
Okay, why we give Shanika a moment?
I think Shanika's mic isn't working, so she'll probably text in the
Okay. In the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's next? We have
Anybody
Ayana. Hi, Ayana. Ayana, come on, what are you taking away today? Let's make Miss Akenna Kublal proud of us that she spent 2 hours sharing her story, sharing from her heart. Let's make her feel proud to know that at least we're taking away one thing. She's invested her time in you. So show up and tell us what you're taking away.
What about Katisha?
Ayana says self-worth. Let's see what the chat is saying.
Right.
Self-worth. Oh, look, we have Janae. Janae, where are you, baby? Janae's still around or she just left a message? Okay, so Janae said, I compliment myself. I always watching myself in the mirror, whether in the car mirror, stove reflection, fridge reflection, or anything that reflects me and say, damn, you're pretty.
Janae really like herself, huh?
I know. That's Janae from Dominica. My goodness. That is amazing. That's amazing. All right. So, Ayana mic is not working. And Marilee says, I learned to be myself. Be yourself. You don't want to be somebody else's clone. You just want to be yourself. All right. So how are we feeling going into the new week? We're feeling more empowered. We're feeling a bit stronger. How are we feeling? Okay, Clarice says she really loved this session and the people. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Clarice. Nice. All right. And who wants to give the vote of thanks to Ms. Kublal? Marilee, you're saying something? Okay, Deshelle just said, I learned to be and love myself no matter what anybody say. You know, when I was in high school, my high school teacher said to me, because I was like really pompous, I used to walk like that. She said to me, look, you think you eat, you have double chin. You have double, like, you know, my neck is like, you know, and I went through life and I was like, oh, but what went in my head? I wanted to tell the teacher, like, you look like a frog, but I dare not say that because we learned, we know we have to respect teachers. So throughout life now, I learned how to embrace the wrinkle in my neck and, you know, tell myself, my neck is so beautiful. It's just cuddly and, you know, and so kissable and everything. And then last year, a girlfriend came to spend time with me from Canada and she was taking photos. And I see she was putting her neck like this. And I looked at her. Her neck is like almost the same as mine, like cuddly. I'm like, my God, your neck is so beautiful. She said, when she do that, her neck straightens out. The crease straightened out so that, you know, when she take the photo, she has it nice. But I'm like, my God, your neck is so beautiful. So we have to take the opportunity to compliment each other, you know, to remind, you know, each other that, hey, this is beautiful. I love it. And, you know, right now, I just love my crinkly neck. I'm like, yeah, this is like a teddy bear kind of neck.
Brianna had a hand up.
Brianna.
Brianna had a hand up. You can go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Bri.
So I really liked today's session because when I was on Form 1, it had a horrible incident with me and this girl. Me and this girl was very close actually, and I found out she was spreading rumors about me. And like, although I know the rumors was just like real bad, and I wouldn't expect somebody to spread rumors like that. So my self-esteem did like dropping down. So like, as when I started journal and because I was doubting myself, so
Yeah. And that requires self-awareness. You know, you are aware that your self-esteem dipped and you did what you had to do to bring it back up. And that's amazing. Well done, Brianna.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. You know, your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. And you took step through your journaling to heal yourself and tell yourself, hey, I'm beautiful. And, you know, what other people say kind of dictate how I feel about myself. And, you know, it's such a beautiful thing, you know, and it's a journey and it requires practice. Wow, wow. I'm so excited to be here, guys. So excited to see how each and every one of you, you know, you could have been somewhere else, but you choose to show up for yourself. And that is just so much of a beautiful thing. I would love to meet all of you in the flesh one day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hand over to SImone.
Yes, thank you so much, Deborah. Deborah always brings a vibe, you know, a Dominican vibe.
Anyway, I have to give you a secret. I was labeled one day. I used to live in England and I came to Dominica after like 15 years. I spent my first 18 years in Guyana. When I came back, my family used to always call me the crazy one. I'm the last one and I'm all the one to entertain everybody. And so I came to Dominica and I like, okay, I'm going to start fresh. And everybody can think I'm normal. So I was running down a hill, and this was a lady from my community. She's like, see the crazy. The truth is out now. My God, jeez. So I'm like, okay, well, it is my personality. I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to accept and embrace the crazy in me. And sometimes myself, I just laugh on myself. I said, Deborah, how can you say that? And it's just so funny how it just come out so organically. So what I've done, I've enlisted myself as a hype woman. So I've started a new job as a hype woman. I got my first enlistment and then we did Nature Isle Selfie Tour and I went on there as a hype woman. And I just on the spot, in front of the director of the thing, this guy said, my God, this woman on the second stop, he said, she has been energy from the beginning of the tour. And I'm like, yes, because he's speaking to the director of the tour. And you see, you can use your personality. Sometimes, you know, it could be like, oh, I'm crazy. I go into a corner and not express myself. But then you can use that as something to monetize and, you know, your personality and to make other people happy. And so I celebrate that. I celebrate the crazy in me and the crazy in you.
Yes, that positivity. Yeah, you change that into a positive.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, we have to embrace ourselves as we are and, you know, turn it into positives, right? So,
yeah. So if you have a party and you're looking for a hype woman, you know, you got the drink, you got the DJ, you got the food, and people are like, just invite me, and I'm gonna like get everybody to get on the table. Like, yeah,
for sure. That's gonna be a high party.
Anyway, over to Simone.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deborah, and thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks to all our partners all over the Caribbean and abroad. Thanks to you, young ladies, most important, for showing up and giving up your time. We thank our sponsor, the Unit Trust Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago. And ladies, we look forward to next week, please the Lord, to see you. This program is just getting better and better. I am just so excited, right? So have a blessed day and the rest of your weekend. Enjoy. Thank you very much. Angel, take it away.